Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. It is Angela. Um, I've been running across a lot of VR tags the last couple of days, so I thought I would jump on them and do them. I actually came across this, and I got a dog in the background here, and then another one there throwing things. So I may have to pause it at some point to, keep her in line because that's my big puppy. Um, but I came across Avery Fawcett's channel, and she was doing hashtag 15 cosmic questions as a VR to Little Cosmic Crow. And so I thought it would be interesting to do this and share it with you guys. So I'm going to dive right in. Number one, does your birth name suit you? If not, do you want to or have you changed it? I think my birth name suits me. I love my name. I don't. I honestly don't see myself being any other name. I find it rare to run into another Angela. I do have a couple cousins. One of them I was named after because she's a little bit older than me. Named Angela, but yeah, I really think my name suits me. I love it. And then when I got married, my last name starts with an A, so I'm AA. Or my middle name starts with a K, so it's AKA. So I find that interesting. Number two, hold on, I'm going to have to go back here to her page. And sorry, I had them all pulled up. It's not showing them now. Being a brat. She's got them all in here. Well, if I can find it. Oh, there it is. Number two, what kind of weather do you connect with the most? Sunshine. A nice sunny day at the water park or the zoo, soaking in all the rays, being one with nature. It's nothing like it. Number three, within paganism, spirituality, is there anything you are uncomfortable with? I'd say at this point, because I started my spiritual journey back in 2018, June of 2018, as you guys know. I've had to overcome a lot of things that make me uncomfortable, but I found that when I actually continue beyond what makes me uncomfortable, that's when I find the things that are just breathtaking. The only thing that I can say with certainty right at this moment that makes me nervous is Ouija board. I've never used one. I will never use one. From all the research I've done and studying, it started out just as a game board. I just had it on the tip of my tongue. Who originally started making it as a game for kids, but it has since turned into this thing that's been demonized, and I think because there's energy everywhere, just the possibility of using one could possibly bring in something negative. And I've had so much negative in my life. I don't need anything added to it. I'm not trying to bring anything negative to me on my own. So that's probably the only thing that really makes me nervous anymore at this point. So yeah, that was number four. Was it? No, that was number three. Number 5, in your spell work or practice, how do you help yourself to be more confident? And the only thing I can say is practice. I'm just now, like I said in a previous video, I started my tarot journey in April of 2019. It took me months to actually start sitting down with tarot cards just because I am a Virgo. I like to have perfectionism in my life, and because it wasn't exactly how I pictured it, I stopped. And that is a typical Virgo. You know, if something's not going your way, you just don't do it. But I am learning to get over that and past it, and I just say practice is with the thing that would make you more comfortable, give you more confidence, especially when you start getting feedback that things you're seeing clairvoyantly, or any one of your clairs, or using the tarot or a pendulum is correct. And so I just think it's practice would be the thing that gives you more confidence. Number 5, who is someone that inspires you currently? My daughter inspires me. As you have seen, if you've seen my previous videos, I had a daughter when I was 19. I gave her up for adoption due to, and of course, every time I start this video, hold on, I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. Sorry. Here lately, I mean, she just came in from outside before I started this video. So literally every single time I start this video, she wants to go outside and starts barking and loses her mind. So yeah, that's just weird. Now I've lost my place. Oh, who inspires, number 5, who is someone that inspires you currently? And I would say my daughter. I gave her up for adoption when I was 19, not because I didn't love her. There's just circumstances preventing me from being able to raise her. And so it was an open adoption. We've reconnected when she was legal age. We now keep in touch regularly. We text all the time. Actually, that's what my book is about that I have on Amazon. It's called Memoirs of a Birth Mother. It's about the struggle I went through in giving her up, and all the factors leading up to the decision, and then the fallout that happened afterward, because there was a fallout, because there's such a stigma on adoption and all that. Obviously, you didn't love her. Obviously, you didn't want a kid. That's not the case with me. I wanted my daughter. I wanted to be able to see her every single day and tuck her in bed at night and things like that. And it just, because of the way my situation was, it wasn't feasible. So the best thing I could have done, because I loved her so much, was give her a family that would do all these things for her and be able to give her every opportunity. Despite the fact that she's had every opportunity, she joined the military right out of high school. She's been on her own, doing her own thing, making her own money, making her own decisions for quite a while. And everything she sets her mind to, she accomplishes. And I strive to be like that. I strive to be someone that she can look up to, someone that, even though I didn't raise her, and she can look at me and say, well, you know, I'm a lot like my mom in that respect, where I don't give up, I don't quit. And I already, despite my upbringing, am one of those people that doesn't give up, doesn't quit, doesn't surrender. I'm very strong-willed, but she seems like she's taken it to a whole new level with job and things like that. I tend to get lazy, and when I get in a comfortable situation, even if it isn't the best situation for me, I tend to get lazy and just stay put. Whereas my daughter's like, nope, we got to do something else to fix this. And so I strive to be more like her, and she inspires me daily. So yeah. Number 6, do you think you are responsible for healing or fixing the mistakes that your ancestors made? Absolutely. Because growing up in an abusive home where it was day in and day out, every day for me, for 18 years, physical abuse, mental abuse, every kind of abuse you can think of, I went through it. And I found out after my grandfather died, I was like 16, 17 when he passed, that it didn't just begin with my mom, it began with him. And then I found out it began with his father, and it just kept going and going and going. And yes, we all grow up at some point. We all have to make that decision. We all have to come to that crossroads when we grow up in an abusive home that I'm not going to be this person. I'm breaking that chain. And I feel like I have broken that chain of that's been going on and on and on for generations of just terrifying abuse. And so I feel like absolutely I'm correcting the mistakes that my ancestors made right now with abuse and everything. I'm showing my kids what it's like to actually be loved, to be cared for, to not be abused or talked down to like you're nothing. And so, yes, absolutely, I believe wholeheartedly that I am responsible for future generations, preventing them and breaking that chain from continuing the path of the past. So that was number 6. Number 7, what is the weirdest thing you've experienced within your path? The weirdest thing I would say is just how open, how much my eyes have been open to things that I thought were never changing, never going to change, and certain beliefs, thought processes, and they're gone now. Like those things I don't even think about because it's not me anymore, and it happened that quick. So yeah, that just everything about this spiritual path I'm on is just completely blown my mind, opened me up to completely new possibilities and endless possibilities. That was number 7. Number 8, do you believe in auras? If so, what aura color do you believe or know yourself to have? And I kind of agree with what Avery said on her video. Yes, I feel like we emanate a certain energy. I believe, I don't necessarily believe that they're colors. It is someone that sat down one day and was like, oh, we're going to assign these different auras, different colors, and different meanings. And to me, they're just words. I know what I feel when I'm around certain people that are negative. I know what I sense when I'm around someone that has the best of intentions. So I think that is what we really emanate from them. Now, I will say, however, I've never seen an aura. I've tried my darndest. It's never happened. But if you watched my previous video on the young Indian girl that I think it was 4, the conclusion, when I found a book that confirmed everything I was seeing, my hand, I talked about my hand going up of its own free will to the bookshelf, grabbing a book, and as it came down, there was like this glowy golden yellow light just around my hand. So I don't know if that was an aura. I immediately thought aura because, what else would it be? But it could have also been the spirit or guide or whoever it was that was using my hand to grab that book. And because they vibrated at something different, higher level, they were showing me as a color. But anytime I meditate or see any kind of color, it's always a golden, bright, brilliant light. And to me, that's just them coming to me, letting me know we're not of this plane, we're of somewhere else higher than where you're at. So yeah, that's the answer to that one. Number 9, if you do your own tarot oracle readings, do you find them to be truthful, accurate, or is it biased? Um, I think it depends on your mood. I think it depends on if you are really, really, really wanting a certain answer, kind of like when you use the pendulum. It can skew the what it is. However, there have been times um, that I've done readings and I'm just like, oh my god, like it's slapping me in the face. And there's been times I've done readings for other people where they're like, that was kind of harsh, but I get it, it's true. Um, and that's why when I sat down to ever pull cards, I kind of clear myself, ground myself, because I don't want it to be biased. When I first started doing this, yes, there were things that came out that, you know, was like, yeah, it's probably biased because I really want this answer. But since then, I've learned to kind of ground myself before I pull a card at all and kind of breathe and let go of myself before I ask someone else to take over and show me the cards that need to be shown. Um, what is one thing you are proud of yourself for? I'm proud of the fact that it took me 38 years, I'm now 43, to start following my dreams. But I mean, it took me 38 years, but I still started it because it is never too late to follow your dreams. Yeah. Uh, Number 11, between light and dark, which is most prevalent in your practice? Are they both? Um, Whether I wanted to or not, dark seems to seep in. But I think, just like with my Light Seers Tarot, the Strength card is half of her face is a lion, half of it is the girl. It is the duality of the two that makes the practice. You can't have light without the dark. You can't have dark without the light. They go hand in hand. So for someone to say, "Oh, I only work in the light," and darkness will creep in regardless. If they're wanting you to see something darker part of yourself or something that you feel, there's my dog again now barking outside. Um, they they go hand in hand. So yeah, there's that. Um, Number 12, do you believe in aliens? If so, should we be fearful of their existence or try to communicate with them? Um, do I believe in little green men? No. I did a previous video where I know there's other entities out there, could be in like other dimensions, other planes of existence, whatever. Um, but especially with everything that's going on in our world right now, um, and like what Avery said on hers, I'm not worried about them. I'm not worried about them coming over or trying to communicate with them. I'm worried about the homeless in our streets and how to get them off the streets and fed and clothed and sheltered. I'm worried about my children growing up in a racist environment still. There's so many other things to worry about here than worrying about what they're doing or how we're going to react to them if they ever showed up. So yeah, there's that. Um, Lost my spot. That was 12. 13. So far in your path, what are some of your favorite things you have learned? Trusting myself is the big one. And I think part of why it took me so long when I bought my first deck in April from Tarot, I didn't really start working on it until like the last week of August, beginning of September. So there's a huge gap there. I can be much further along, but And part of it is the Virgo in me, always having to have perfectionism, and I didn't trust myself. The second I started really toss the book, toss the rules, started trusting myself, things started happening. Literally the second I did that. And so, yeah, that has been my favorite thing, is learning how to trust myself. So far, okay, so 14. What are your thoughts on using tools for spirit communication? Example, tarot, oracle, other divination, Ouija boards, spirit boxes, EVP recorders, etc. Do you have any favorite preferences? What are your thoughts on using tools for spirit communication? Um, Mine kind of went backwards from what I've read, because I've started out up here trying to, um, because I'm a medium, so I've been told, um, well, I started off trying to open up all my clairs and do all this stuff, and I was at the point where I wasn't trusting anything either, so nothing was happening, and I'm like, well, maybe because I've been a 3, 4 psychics, all of them said, why aren't you doing this? Why, you're a powerful medium, why aren't you doing it? I'm like, and because all this stuff happened literally in the last 2 years, I woke up one morning needing to know everything about their spirituality, paranormal. I woke up another morning needing to buy a tarot deck. I woke up another morning needing to have a pendulum, and I didn't understand all these things were happening so quickly and fast that all I heard was medium, medium, medium. So I went for like way up here when I should have started here, down here. And so I kind of went backward in that because, um, from everything I've seen, tarot is like a jumping off point to get you to the medium. It helps you learn to trust yourself pretty much, and trust in what you're doing and trust in spirit. Um, and so I kind of went backwards because I started off way up here trying to learn that, and then I started trying to learn tarot. And I think that's why I had this overwhelming need to finally buy a tarot deck, because nothing was happening on this side, up here. And so Spirit was like, well, you need to buy a tarot deck so you can see, that we are there. We are helping you. And so, yeah, I think all these tools, pendulum, tarot, whatever your preferences, is a jumping off point for bigger things. And like with my clairs, I still haven't opened all of them up. I think once they're open all up, then I will be ready to do mediumship work. But I do have a lot of stuff that comes through, anyway, clairvoyantly, and claircognizantly. I think those two work in tandem together, because I will see something and then I will just know something else, and they go together. So yeah, that is that. I do, when I first started doing this, I didn't have an EVP recorder. I know I have spirits in my house. I've known it since I've lived here. I don't sleep in my bedroom because of that, because I've gotten fondled a lot in my bedroom. So I just don't sleep in there anymore, because the person that's in there he's not bad. He just has a skewed perception of what the word no means. So I just let him have that. My husband sleeps in there. He doesn't get messed with, but I do almost every time I sleep in there. So I do have stones in there also in the four corners. I was told to put stones in there. It doesn't work. He's very persistent. But I did want to do the EVP recorder, and I actually figured out that you can use your phone. It's not as great as an EVP recorder. Just to find out more information, because at that point my clairvoyant ability I wasn't open to it. But I knew there was someone in there, and so I used the recorder on my phone. I did get one time, which freaked me out so bad that, because I was at a point of fear still. This was all really new to me. I asked if someone was in the room, and you could hear a plain yes on the recording. Once I went back and listened to it, so it kind of freaked me out so bad that I shut it off. I haven't done it since. It kind of reminds me of the Ouija board kind of deal. You're opening yourself up to anything at that point. And so I'm going back to just learning to trust my abilities and what I see and what I feel. And once I actually started doing that, I actually started finding out quite a great deal about this person in my room. So yeah. Yeah. So there's that. If you were able to talk to your future self, what questions would you ask? And now this one's starting because somebody's walking down the street. If you were able to talk to your future self, what questions would you ask? I would say the main question I would ask. Hi. Sorry about that. My sister-in-law showed up with food at the door, so I had to grab the food before my dog ate it. And that's why they were both going crazy before. But yeah, where was I again? The last question, of course. If you were able to talk to your future self, what questions would you ask? And honestly, the only question I would probably ask is, did I become an asshole? Because I'm always nice. I've always been wear my heart on my sleeve kind of person. People have taken advantage of that. And I found myself in the last few years realizing that I've gotten very jaded, very hardened to people because of that. Because every time I turn around, I feel like someone was taking advantage of my kindness. And so I've kind of hardened myself up to that a little bit. Since I started my spiritual journey, I've really tried to open my heart back up and just feel things and move on from them. And not let people take advantage of me in that way. So yeah, that would probably be my question is I hope I'm not an asshole in the future because of the spiritual work I'm doing now. So yeah, that is my 15 questions VR response to Avery Fawcett. She actually has all the questions on her page on that channel. I can link her below as well. But she did it to hashtag 15 cosmic questions VR to Little Cosmic Crow. So if you guys like this video, give me a thumbs up. If you want to see more videos, please subscribe. And you guys have a great afternoon.